We're very fortunate today to have all the alderman candidates except Wade McClellan, who I think was on vacation and could not attend. But let me say before we ask them to come up, and what we're going to do is ask each one to come up and talk 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll ask Al Krimble if he'll kind of watch about the 3 minutes, because otherwise, since I'm kind of going from my left around, Pat will take all the time if we don't put a time on him, since he's going first. Won't leave any time. But I want to tell you that I sincerely appreciate the fact that hopefully you had enough confidence in my being mayor that I am running unopposed, and that is an endorsement of what we, as a Board of Mayor and Aldermen, have been able to do for this city in the past 2 to 4 years. And I really want to take this opportunity to say I appreciate it and thank you very much, and I'll try to do the best job I possibly can for the next 2 years. And I would thank you all. It is an honor. Our first candidate, and I'm going to go around the table, and I'm not going to get up and introduce each one. Pat Shawl will go first, McIntyre, Ben Mallick, Valerie Gibbs, and Tom Parm, and then we'll have time for questions. If we run over and you want to ask questions, it'd be great. Pat.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm Pat Shawl. My biography I've put out on the table. There's several copies there, and I'll hit a few points. But one of the accomplishments that I'm most proud of is persuading one of your members to marry me, and that's my wife, Mary, in the audience. We met during the Gulf War. Mary ducked into my work tent to get out of a sandstorm, and she had on her flak vest and her chemical suit and her weapon and her gear. Not that day. Later on, I told her for me it was love at first sight. Well, you know, Mary's from Philadelphia. She's not shy. She told me I must have been in the desert too long. So we were a little busy. That was about the second week of February, and 2 weeks later we were attacking north right into Iraq with the 24th Infantry Division. And I completed Army service as a colonel. I commanded at both company, battalion, and brigade level. I led thousands of soldiers in peacetime and in combat. Brought Mary back here to my hometown. I grew up here in Kingsport, went to all the schools, including DB. And Mary always wanted to start her own business, and I think she'd give me credit for giving her a big hand in that, starting Mary's kitchen shop. I've done some consulting. My job now is I'm the Vice President for Administration and Chief of Staff at Virginia and Lamont College, working for the President there, and I enjoy that, being around the young folks. I've even got a new job lined up. It's real part-time. My boss said it was okay for me to teach a course of American National Government at Milligan College starting in August. So it's just one night a week, and I'm looking forward to that. I've got a master's in public administrations, and I did an internship in city management right here in Kingsport in between some Army assignments, and that was very interesting, and I've always had a love and interest in what the city does. I stand for limited government. I'm a fiscal conservative, and I believe in free market solutions. And if you examine my record, I think you'll see where that bears out. This race a little bit reminds me kind of one of those restaurants where on the menu you can order from column A and column B. I'm the only one in column B. And I say that in all sincerity because I know where I disagree with Mr. Mallick and Ms. Gibbs, and I know where we have agreed. And I've listened and read about the other challengers, and I think they're more over toward agreeing with Mr. Mallick and Ms. Gibbs than they are with me on several of the key issues. And I think it's up to the voters to ask them that, where they stand and get them to defend their positions. I believe that we can have strong schools, a great infrastructure, outstanding city services, and while maintaining low taxes. And I'm the only candidate that voted to cut your property tax. I believe we can do these things and still achieve some other projects that are worthwhile. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Mike McIntyre, and it's a real pleasure for me to be here. The reason I'm running is very simple. I think Kingsport is a great place to live and work, and I want to be able to contribute, to serve, and to give back in ways that I haven't been able to do in the past. I am pleased with the direction the city has taken. We've benefited, I think, from the work and seeds that many, many people have sown over the last 20 years. We are going in a good direction, and we need to continue to do that. These are, however, pretty challenging economic times, and I think we need to focus on fundamental things. I think it's very important that our focus stays on economic development, on education, and on growth. I think we can grow the economy in several different ways. I think we need to help those folks in this community find ways to export their products and services to bring new money into this community. It's hard right now to find new businesses that want to move into Kingsport, but we need to be continually looking, and we don't need to back up on that. Education is good in this community, and we need to make it better. We can't attract businesses, and we can't attract other folks without having strong education, and we need to work on it at all levels, through K, through higher education. We need to work on growth. We need to continue the move to Kingsport. We need to make it better. We need to have folks that are coming in, whether it is to work or to retire. Now, I've been in Kingsport for 43 years. Vivian and I moved here after I completed my doctorate degree at the University of Louisville. I obviously went to work at Eastman and was there for nearly 34 years. It was a great place to work. I worked in R&D, worked in manufacturing and business management, and finally in corporate development. A lot of people don't know what corporate development is, but that's buying and selling businesses. And there's a couple of, actually, we've had a couple of experiences doing some of that. I've been involved in the community pretty much all the time I've been here. My civic things, I was on the Kingsport Citizen Advisory Committee and was its president in 84 and 85, was in the second Leadership Kingsport class, served on the Board of Zoning Appeals for about 10 years, 9 as its chair. Have been on the Kingsport Regional Planning Commission since 2000 and on the Sullivan County Planning Commission since 2003. I failed to mention, and probably the most interesting thing, I retired from Eastman in 99, but found that retirement wasn't my cup of tea. And I've been the business administrator at First Broad Street United Methodist Church for the last 8 years, and that has been a wonderful blessing. It's an experience in running a business, and I think it's an experience that would help in running a city. I believe Al's giving me the high sign, so I guess I'll wrap up. But thank you. I very much appreciate your support.
Well, thank you all very much for having us here today and for all of the things that the Rotary Club and in general, and this Rotary Club in particular, has done to make Kingsport a better place to be. It is much appreciated. My name is Ben Mallick. I'm a lawyer here in Kingsport, a native of Kingsport and a graduate of Dobbins-Bennett High School. For the last 4 years, I have served on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, and for the last 2 years, I have been humbled to serve as the Vice Mayor. That concludes the prepared part of what I had to say. I want to cut to the chase with what I've got to say. Pat said something for once that I agree with. And that there is a very clear distinction between the candidates in this campaign. And I don't think that that's any great surprise, and I don't think that's anything that we would disagree with. And the distinction is one of philosophy, and it's very clear. Pat has said that he is the only candidate that has voted to cut your taxes, and I voted to cut your property taxes. And I would say this: you can't say that. You cannot consider that without considering the cost, without considering the trade-off. When you consider what reduced investment in Kingsport's future means, it means these things. It means that in the midst of probably the greatest housing crisis in recent memory, the city of Kingsport is third in the nation for home price appreciation. In a time when other municipalities are seeing double-digit drops in their sales tax collection that are causing massive financial crises, the City of Kingsport is seeing double-digit increases. Without the investments that the city has made, that this board has made, we wouldn't have the Target shopping center. We wouldn't have Food City, the renewed Food City. We wouldn't have East Stone Commons. We wouldn't have all of the new residential options that have staunched the flow of our professionals who have previously chosen to live in Johnson City and who are now, for the first time in a long time, choosing to live in Kingsport. We wouldn't have a new higher education center and a center for health professions that addressed our most pressing economic development need in this city and provide opportunities for future generations to come. We wouldn't have the revitalization of downtown. We wouldn't have the new concert series that has become a cornerstone of this community and an opportunity to gather. And we wouldn't have a nationally recognized school system. To say, any business owner will tell you that you cannot be successful in the long term simply by cutting. If you want to be successful, you have to grow. And the way to grow is to continue making the smart investments that we have been making. Thank you.
Ben actually had more prepared than I did. I'm used to just speaking off the cuff. My name is Valerie Gibbs. I was raised in Kingsport, went to Dobbins Bennett, went to Agnes Scott because it's the nearest thing to a convent my family could think of, and then finished at Catherine Gibbs because my parents told me I couldn't get married unless I was self-supporting, which was very good advice at that time. I have been in the real estate business for over 38 years. That gave me a very interesting perspective on Kingsport. I'm in the business of selling Kingsport to people. And what I found 6 years ago when I ran for the first time is that people were not choosing to live here. They were working here, the job opportunities were in Kingsport, but they were choosing to live somewhere else, whether it was Johnson City or Bristol or Blumpville or Burgoynesville or Rogersville, but they weren't living here. And the reason was we did not have the quality of life that people were comparing with Johnson City. I ran because that was the issue that I wanted to run on. I thought we needed more reasons for people to pick Kingsport. I was elected the first time to fill Nathan Vaughn's slot because he had gone out to bigger and better things. And so it was a two-year term. The second time that I ran because we wanted downtown to be a better place. I also had watched our sister cities and what was happening with their downtowns. And I'm so excited with what we've done in the last 6 years. We not only have built ballparks and soccer fields and skateboard parks, the shopping is so much better, and that was a real issue. But we also have got the downtown now just humming with the higher education center and all the other buildings that are going up. So I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. I hope that you want to see Kingsport continuing to go in that method and continuing on that track, and that you'll vote for me as another term as alderman. I've got 3 children and 6 grandchildren in Kingsport, so I certainly am interested in what goes on with education, and I certainly am interested in the future. If you want to know how much my past is involved with Kingsport, I grew up with 7 aunts and uncles, my grandparents, and my family here. So I definitely know about the history as well as hope for the future. So I'm asking for your vote. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Tom Parm, and I'd like to add my thanks and gratitude for letting us come and speak and spend a few minutes with you. I'm thinking a little bit about Bill Adams' blessing, bestowing wisdom, patience, and humor, and I'm not sure it's real wise to be doing what we're doing. My friends think I'm crazy, but on a serious note, it is humbling to go through this process. You meet a lot of people. It makes you have a deep respect for the job and those who serve, and makes you realize how many friends you have. And there's a lot of friends in this room, and I particularly appreciate the encouragement and support that you've given. Why am I running? 2 reasons. One, with my 25 years of service in this community, and I have been active. I've had continued urging by friends and others to step up to a next level. But the real push and the reason I am stepping up is maybe as best described by Ben and Valerie and Mike, is there's a certain degree of excitement and reawakening in our city. I've been in the shadows of some of that, but I really want to serve and be part of the dynamics of what's going on in our city. Perhaps I'm best known for my work with regard to the Greenbelt, the riverfront redevelopment, and the Beverage Board. These assignments have put me in contact with an awful lot of people. They have required that I push as a volunteer and shepherd some of these projects to make them happen. But they've also taught us the best way is to work with citizens and get their support, whether it be Greenbelt or Riverfront project. My platform is very simple. It's affordable growth, the higher education center, academic village, all of us support. And then, of course, the quality of life projects. My philosophy or agenda is simple. It's been the same that I've had with every job I've had in my life, and that's work hard, try to find ways to improve or increase the value, and to find ways to reduce cost where we can. I, too, am a native of Kingsport, grew up here, born here, raised here, educated here, and have had a wonderful 36-year career with Eastman. A lot of contacts there as well. I guess what I bring to the table is knowledge, experience, a passion for improvement, and contacts and communications with a lot of people. I'm excited about the possibility. Thank you for considering my vote.